Okay, welcome everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo, and we are reviewing the Valkyries and the New York Liberty. You know, a couple games ago, I think at the video I did on the Indiana Fever a couple days ago, I was talking about the possibility that we could probably beat the Liberty. Um, I thought we would need to shoot better, but turns out our defense was so good that we were just hassling them enough that they were shooting. They shot worse than we did. Um, they shot 31% from the floor, 25% from three. We shot 37% and 26% from three. But our threes were kind of coming in waves, like they built up I think the biggest lead was 26 points, I want to say. 24. We had a 24-point lead at one point, and then it was about halfway through the third, and then New York really stepped up their defense, and we just couldn't score. And then, it's interesting because right around, I forget where the technical came in. I think it was in the third where Sandy Brondello got her technical. And it was interesting. I watched the play. I actually watched the post game and whatever before I actually watched the game. And they were complaining about fouls. And I found that really funny because on that particular play, Stewie came flying in for the rebound and she mistimed it because it hit the rim. And then she fell and they were wanting a foul on that. And our players were just standing there and they timed the rebound correctly and got the rebound. And it was just interesting. And I really like Stewie. She's a great player, but oh my God, she just was like barreling through everybody. And the tiniest little thing, and she'd get the fouls. And I don't know. I mean, they were minor, but, and then Cloud came barreling through Burton, and Burton ended up getting, they called the offensive foul and then overturned it. And it's just, I mean, I'm not really complaining about the officials, but I'm surprised that they were because they got a lot of calls. I mean, they went to the line 19 times. We went 20 times, but some of those were, I don't know. And there were, like, Stewie really clocked Veronica Burton in like half court. I mean, it wasn't intentional. It's nothing dirty or anything, but it just, I was surprised to hear them complaining about fouls when, geez, they got some great calls. And I mean, that one play that Carla Late had late in the game where she was like at the foul line and they were hacking away at her. And the ball kind of went around her waist and it came loose and then she went up to the hoop and, finger rolled it into the basket. And it was like, okay, no call there, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, it's just weird that they were complaining about it because they got the benefit of a lot of them. I don't know, maybe it was just the Liberty didn't score over 18 points in any quarter. This was a huge defensive battle. And the Valkyries, once again, they were even saying it in the, during the game that this is the fourth time we've held a team under 60 points. The other thing that was kind of cool was in the last couple of games, our bigs, Ami here got some steals like right at the top of the key, above the top of the key and got layups. And then tonight, Temi got one. So, just a breakaway layup. So that's been kind of cool. And, these lulls that the Valkyries have, I mean, a lot of that had to do with the New York's defense. They were all over Burton and all over Carla, and it was really hard to run the offense. They were picking them up really high, up near half court, and in the fourth quarter, they were picking them up full court. And, it forced them into a couple of both late, Carla and Veronica had 4 turnovers. And it was mostly due to that pressure, and or they drive and go to pass the ball and couldn't get it to the person they were trying to pass the ball to. But just terrific defensive game. Just late in that third, Stewie was just flying into the key, and she was getting foul calls, and they were so minor. Like, I don't know. Anyway, we held on and did what we needed to do to secure the win. I mean, it was cool to get that 24-point lead because as New York was making their comeback, excuse me, as they were making their comeback, we had enough of a cushion to withstand that. So, that was good. Both teams had 15 turnovers. There was a really cool play where Burton tried to throw. It was a longer pass to the wing than is recommended, I would say. And Cloud intercepted it, but then Cloud tried to push it down the floor, and Burton stole it right back. So there was a number of plays like that where just great steals on both teams, for both teams. There were New York had 10 and the Valkyries had 5. It seemed, watching the game, it seemed like they had more than that. But we out-rebounded them 35-29. And offensive rebounds, we got 9 and they got 6. So, overall, this was just a battle. This was a battle, and this will prepare us for the playoffs. And Indiana lost, so now we have a 2-game lead on the 3 teams that are behind us. They are all tied with 20 losses. So if we can take care of business with Dallas and then take care of Seattle, if we just win those 2 games, I think we're set. Because the Sparks have a really tough schedule. Indiana has to play Minnesota, and then they have one other game. I don't know. They play Chicago, and then I don't know what their other one is. And then Seattle plays New York next, and then they play us. So if we can take care of Seattle and Dallas, regardless of what happens with Minnesota, we should be pretty good. We should be well off. We should, let's see. So we're 22. So that would make us 24-20. If we lose both Minnesota games and just take care of Dallas and Seattle. And we have the tiebreakers on the Fever and Seattle. Well, yeah, if we beat Seattle, we'll have the tiebreaker. But even if we lose the Seattle game, we might have the tiebreaker anyway. So it's going to be really impactful to see who wins if New York beats Seattle, because I think that's their next game. So that game is going to be really important for the Valkyries, because then it'll have a bigger impact on when we play Seattle. And the more the Minnesota games don't matter, the better off we are. So we have a final score of 66-58. New York outscored us Actually, they outscored us 3 of the 4 quarters, which is unusual, considering we won. But they only outscored us by a little bit, and we outscored them by a lot in the second. So 18-14, New York outscored us. Then we outscored them 26-8 in that second quarter. Then the third was even, 18-16. And then the fourth, they outscored us by 14-10. It'd be really cool if we can get some more, tough points. Because it's like we end up getting the clock the shot clock worn down, and then we end up having to throw up a shot that is not a, quote, good shot. So looking at the scoring, you had, it was a good game for Cloud and Stewie. Stewie got 10 points off the foul line. And most of that was late in the game. Because she was just barreling through. She just got the ball and just plowing through. and they kept giving her the foul calls. I mean, some of them were, but some of them were I mean, like I said, they were pretty minor. Just questionable. Anyway, so she was 4 for 15 overall. So she wasn't hitting her shot. She was just driving to the hoop. So she was 1 for 5 from 3, and the 3 she hit was late in the game. So 19 points. She had a block, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 1 assist, and 5 rebounds. And then Phoebus hit a 3. That was late in the game. That was like their last points, I think. Jungle Jones was really ineffective in this game. The thing I noticed is somehow she was ending up on our guards for some reason. And our guards were looking at her like, oh, we're going. And then they were blowing right by her. And then Temi blew by her once or twice too. So she had 5 points. She had a block, a steal, 3 turnovers, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds. She was 2 for 4. Kennedy Burke didn't score. She was 0 for 3. Cloud, 19 points. She had 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. She was 6 for 13. And 3 for 7 overall. I mean, from 3. And then she was 4 for 4 from the foul line. Then Meeseman had 9 points, a block, a steal, 3 turnovers, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. She was 4 for 8. And she hit a 3-point shot. And then Johannes, she hit 1 3. She was 1 for 6 overall. She ended up with 4 fouls. She had a block, a steal, an assist, 4 rebounds. And then Isabel Harrison didn't play much. She was only in for 3 minutes. She took 1 shot, didn't make it, and had a foul. And that was it for her. She also had an assist. And then Gardner came in. She also didn't score, only took 1 shot. But she was effective defensively. She was really hassling Burton and Carla late, which impacted our offense. It definitely slowed down our offense, what she was doing with Natasha Cloud. So our stats, we had Salon with 10 points. And, Salon should be considered all rookie. All these you get Kiki Irifin and Citron and Paige Beckers. They get all the media hype, but Salon has played well enough to be on the all-rookie team. She had 10 points. She had a turnover, 3 rebounds. She was 2 for 5 from 3, 3 for 10 overall, and 2 for 2 at the line. Rupert, she only took 5 shots. Which, I mean, just their defense and stuff was impacting that. But she was 1 for 5. She didn't hit a 3 this game. She ended up with a block, a turnover, an assist, and 7 rebounds. And then Temi was our leading scorer. Temi was doing things this game that I've been begging her to do. Like, she got the ball and went strong to the hoop. Especially with, I think it was, she had some smaller players on her, and she looked and she went, oh, here we go. Let's go to the hoop. I've been waiting all season for her to do that. And hopefully she'll keep doing it. And then she got our last hoop after they were trapping and left her wide open underneath. So 16 points for Temi. She had 2 steals, 1 turnover, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. And she was playing great defense. Just fantastic defense down low. She was 7 for 10 overall. She hit a 3, and she had a foul shot. And then Kayla Charles was all over the place. She was playing great defense, and she was tipping the rebounds, so we'd get extra chances. She had 10 points, a steal, a turnover, 5 rebounds. 4 of them were defensive. 1 was offensive. And then Burton, this was a tougher game shooting-wise for Burton, but they were hassling her. They had Cloud. Natasha Cloud is a great defender, just like Burton is, and they were going at it. So Burton was 1 for 9 from the floor, but she had 9 assists and 9 rebounds. She had 2 steals and 4 turnovers. She was 0 for 4 from 3, 4 for 5 from the foul line. And then Carla also had 6 points. She had 4 turnovers, 3 assists, She was 2 for 5 and then 2 for 3 at the line. And then Kate Martin, she came in and hit some threes for us, just like that's her thing. 11 points. She had 1 turnover, 3 rebounds. She was 3 for 6 from 3, 3 for 7 overall, and she was 2 for 4 at the line. And then welcome back Mo Billings. The Mo the merrier. It was so nice to see the crowd reaction to Mo Billings coming in the game. I'll bet that made her feel really good. She ended up with 5 points. She was 1 for 7. She was 0 for 4 from 3, hit 3 foul shots, and all of her rebounds were offensive rebounds, which is something we've been missing. And she'll get her legs under her, and she'll start hitting some of these shots. But you know what? It was a great first game back. She gave us energy. She gave us, those offensive rebounds that we end up missing a lot when she's not in the game. So overall, I wish we could get out of those lulls where teams come back and, we'll get a lead and we let the teams come back. I mean, sometimes it's not that we let them, but it's if they're going to score, we got to just score along with them. And we have droughts, and it allows the other teams to come back. But it's gotten better as the season is going on. And, I'm hoping the next couple of games we'll have Tip Hayes and Zandalicini back too. Or at least if we can have a full roster by playoffs, that'll just be so nice. Just so nice. Anyway, you know what? Valkyries win. We just got to take care of business against Dallas. And then, it'd be like, because I was iffy about whether we could beat I had the feeling based on how the Liberty were playing and how we were playing. And I thought, ooh, in Ballhalla, if we shoot well, we might be able to beat the Liberty. And here we did. We beat them. And I've been talking about these Minnesota games. I mean, we're playing Minnesota the very last game of the season. And I can't imagine that they're not going to be sitting players. I mean, because that game means absolutely nothing to them. I mean, the rest of the season doesn't really mean that much to them. But they're going to want to be going in strong to the playoffs. So you would think that they're going to play. I mean, they gave McBride the day off the last time they played. So they might be periodically doing that, but I would think that they'll just play the starters and stuff in the first half and then play the bench the rest of the game. But you never know. But if they do, we might be able to sneak one of those games away from Minnesota, especially if we keep playing like we are. If they have a bad shooting night, it's possible. I'm not counting on that, but it'd be really cool to get a win against them. So, anyway, just another win by the Valkyries, just floating on clouds. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the 4 games we have left, and let's hope we get a minimum of 2 wins. A minimum. We'll see. Okay. We'll catch you next time.